For most of my life, I feared myself. I had nothing but doubt and fear, so much that it basically paralyzed me most of my life. So it's kind of surprising that I would be the one giving you this message because it came through more than a year ago. Well, it's actually come through several years, but I couldn't believe it. Probably just as you can't believe something about yourself, something about what you're meant to do, who you're meant to become in this world, and probably now. Because our world is moving through a big energetic shift. And it was surprising to discover that Wilhelm had given us all this information that could help us understand the changes we were moving through in our lives, because that's what happens. We move through our own individual evolutionary path, which is self-development or actualization or ascension, however you think of it, but we all move through that process the same way in our consciousness. And when I sat down and started receiving Wilhelm in 1987, it was never, actually 1989 was, I thought about it earlier, but I didn't start until 1989, and they pointed that out to me as well, because there was an awareness that I had in 1987, but I wasn't going to do that. I was never going to do anything that was spiritual or something that people could judge me for, because I didn't understand it. How was I accessing consciousness? How was I doing that? And how was I healing? How was I moving through my life and changing everything? Because that did happen. I was experiencing mind-body healing. I was experiencing greater understanding and greater compassion for everyone. But that's who I was always. The only thing I wanted was for people to be okay. I wanted people to know who they were. So much so that I would do myself in, and you might have done that too, when you're really this empathic person, when you care about everything, you kind of leave yourself out. I've done that. But that's also the beauty of what I can leave the world now, because I know you don't have to. Because I was given the thing that could change your life and our world. And people will think, well, how could that happen? Well, Wilhelm said all humans are born with worth and value, and they just have to develop that. And the only thing that happens is that they get stuck because they're believing something that was programmed into them before, and it may not be serving them now, because the world keeps changing and evolving. And that's what was laid out in the work that Wilhelm had given me. So in the last several months, I started to discover that everything was organized. When I was told I had this information in 2021, made no sense to me. How could that have happened? And then I discovered, well, I did something that Wilhelm did, something that no other channel had done. They gave us information that it was aligned with cosmic changes and events that were occurring in our world so that we could move through it with greater ease. And as we do that, we heal. And I was the example because I healed. Because it was about moving through all the old stuff, and that's what's in this work. But I wanted you to understand it because you stand at a very pivotal place in your life. I don't care who you are, it is there, and it's something that you, if you could own yourself, you would make the world better. Because again, that would be an energetic contribution that you would make, and you're willing to move over all the old stuff. And that's what I had to become willing to do today. And when you see the message for today on September 16th, it said it was all in your head. And that is exactly what Wilhelm wanted us to understand. Everything that we experience is in our consciousness, so it's in our head. This is why mindset is so important, why we use it, why you study it, why you do any kind of a course. But what you will find, and I put this all out, you can't find a better mindset course than this. And you can't find one that's going to give you the evidence of proof because I'm living it. And so many other people have as well, except I didn't finish it all, just like you haven't done what you're meant to do because we doubt ourselves. I only gave people 31 days of this 36-year journey of complete healing, and now it's turned into a complete philosophy and a curriculum for anyone to move to a higher state of consciousness and evolution, and it would do the same for our world. So I put together this booklet. You can read it, and it just shows a demonstration of what that is. But if you go through the messages from the 10th through the 15th that are on the site now, you'll see the same thing. that there's an organization there and then an explanation of what the message is meant. And you'll see there's a continuity, a story that's being told in each year. I could never have known that. I'm saying this because you may discover something about yourself you would never have known, and you're supposed to, because you're supposed to be unique. You're supposed to be developing something within you now that would give you such joy, peace, and happiness, and then you would help the world. That's how it works. And that's all the information that I was given. And now you can live this great life because we have the information we need to change our lives and the world. Enjoy the ebook. I will see you soon.